This podcast is brought to you by Rebecca Cassells of the Rising Dawn series. Do you like violence? Do you like smut? Are you tired of the stereotypical novels of werewolf romance out there and want something a little bit different? Then pick up Sparked Revolution, Book 1 in the Rising Dawn series by Rebecca Cassells. Available on Amazon, in Kindle and paperback. You too can become a sponsor of Stories, The True and the Fictional by heading on over to buymeacoffee.com/STTATF or follow the link in the show notes. Hello guys and welcome to a brand new episode of Stories, The True and the Fictional. We've got an exciting guest for you coming up, but first we've got to talk shop, all the sponsored nonsense and that. But first, Ryan, how are we going?
Living the dream, mate. Living the dream, absolutely. It's been a good week this week. We got some good TV with Alien Earth that just debuted the other day. I watched first 2 episodes last night and can definitely get on board with that. It's been a good week. Been a slow week because I was away for most of last week. So just getting back to normalcy.
Awesome.
Well, and buy my shirt. Buy my shirt. I was
just about to talk about that. Yes, we do have merch. We have Ryan's Living the Dream shirt. We have my shirt, which is Read Indie. And yeah, check the links in the below for all that stuff. But we also have sponsors. Rebecca Cassells for the paranormal romance. She is been a fan of the show, friend of the show from way back when. She was one of the first guests we ever had on. So shout out to her. And
we stole her. We stole her husband too. So
yes, yeah, we stole
her husband for one of our segments. So
yes, our spin-off
series. We talk to Neil more than we talk to Rebecca sometimes.
Yes, that's 100% true. So on that, we do have a sideshow called Wort, where we judge people's book covers and decide if we would actually read them. It's a fun show. It's taking off. Check it out. That's on our YouTube channel. Our other sponsor is Martin Kearns. Great guy, writes urban fantasy and a bit of horror. Check out his stuff. He is fantastic. And
I actually finished his book kinda while I was away last week. Really good. Definitely another good horror writer in the myth. So yeah, definitely get on board with that.
Excellent. Well, now that we've talked shop, let's bring in our guest, Kara M. Zone. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me. I have been checking out your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles behind you, and I'm wondering how are they, like first edition, like 1980s, or are they older?
No. Well, I'd have to turn around and look at them.
I guess younger, right? Like.
Well, this one right here, my sister found it in an op shop, and that's like, I think that's like early 2000s.
Okay.
These ones are kind of knockoffs. They're like the old school. I'll take it off the shelf. It's from the original cartoon, the comic book versions. So
yeah,
they're just knockoffs. I won't say too much more because we'll be here all day.
I'm sorry.
But I have I have comic books. I have comic books signed by Kevin Eastman. I've got some stuff over on the wall there. I'm a Ninja Turtle nut, so I've got everything.
No, yeah, I watched the cartoon original movies, original Casey Jones, all that stuff. So I just saw it and I like zeroed in on it. So I don't have to. I'm sorry I derailed or anything like that. My nephews are like 8 and 6, and we just got back from Maine with them, and the whole time they were watching this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and my brother and my husband just had this whole conversation about how the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 2012 couldn't touch anything else. So it's just it's fresh up. So I apologize.
That was the last of the good series, yeah. Although the last great thing they did in the cartoon medium was the Batman and Ninja Turtles crossover. That was fantastic. but yeah, no, I'm a diehard fan. I go all the way back, and it's funny that you went to Maine because Kevin Eastman's from there, who created Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't know that one.
there's a plaque somewhere, and it's like a sewer lid. There's an actual sewer lid, and it's got their names on it. It's like they had a big grand opening. It's really cool. I'm that would be on my if I ever go overseas. That's where I'd want to go. Just the,
We're gonna go just him, my husband and I, and we're gonna go from the top of Maine down the coast. So
Mm.
maybe I'll make that next stop for the next time we go there, and then I'll send you a picture.
do it, please. Um, we already know this is going to be a great
Well,
episode because the tangents
I
have.
definitely. Well, I was saying I definitely want to go to Maine but for a different reason that you do because it's the horror capital of America,
Stephen
where
King.
Stephen King writes pretty much all of his stories set in. So I would definitely go to Maine, but I check out that turtle lid, the sewer lid as well because
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles are cool.
Excellent. Before we get too crazy, the question we always have to ask is, who is Kara M. Zone?
Oh boy. I don't know how to answer that. I've been in indie publishing since 2019. I was doing a whole bunch of stuff behind the scenes. I did ghostwriting, I did producing. I like touched every single part except marketing and distribution. So what I was doing I was just kind of soaking everything in. And I'm sure you know like how much the industry has changed from 2019 to 2025. But it's been really cool seeing all of the changes and kind of like moving around and sort of weaving and bobbing. And I saw so many people giving up because it's a hard publishing is just a hard gig in general, traditional indie, no matter
Yeah.
what way you go. And so I decided that once I was publishing my books, I would try to help other people stay in and keep going and learn how to bob and weave and understand that there's no mistakes. You just learn lessons and there's always another way. That's me as an author, indie publisher situation. I have 2 full-length novels. They both came out this year. The first one is Cinders Burn at Midnight. I did just get a new cover.
Ooh.
This was an accident. I didn't mean to have this here. But the other cover was great too. I just wanted something different. So, and then Ashes Fall at Dawn came out. I don't have that one here. Came out June 24th of this year also. And then I have 2 novellas. One is free and exclusive for people, and it's all either dark fantasy, and people are calling it romantasy also, so I'm not going to argue with them. And it can lean into that as well. So it's kind of a popular genre. It's just dark. It's not dark romance. It's just dark fantasy.
Awesome. Well, we are going to dive into all of that, but first we have a tradition.
Yes.
Icebreaker questions, because we get so many wonderful answers from this. And like Ryan said before we hit record, that the reason we do this is because we want to get to know you. And we find that when people get to know you, they want to buy your books. 9 times out of 10, Ryan buys books while we're recording. You know, it's just, it's what happens. It's probably why people want to come on this show, maybe.
I did not know that before I came on. I'm apologizing for that.
That's all right. No, that's all right. It's just a joke we have. It happens because I'm the writer.
Well,
he's the reader.
Yeah, exactly. And mainly when we have a horror author on, I pretty much already have their book before we even speak to them. So I'm all about the horror, but I do love a bit of fantasy too. So yeah, definitely looking forward to having a chat about your book.
Yeah.
Me too. Thank you.
Okay. So take it away, Ryan. I think I went last time first. So
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I'm going to set the scene for you. We live in a world where everyone's at peace. There's world peace. There's no cruelty to humans. There's no cruelty to animals. There's no war. Everything's great. In that case, that we live in that world, what is something that you would get rid of? So something that annoys you personally.
Well, you took away all the stuff that actually annoys me. So let me think for a second, because now
Look,
my
we're getting
answer
too
is
many political answers. We're getting too
No.
many political answers, which is fine. It's all good. Like we all want to get rid of all that kind of stuff, but we want selfish
Pet peeves.
answers. We want something that annoys you that you want to get rid of.
So mine wasn't political. It was just let everybody be the way they want to be and just stay out of everybody's business. So maybe that is, I don't know. I know things annoy the crap out of me too. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. It's pre-recorded, so we can edit.
The sound of chewing and swallowing.
Okay.
It's so gross.
Mm-hmm.
I think go ahead.
I agree. No, because the reason this came hyper aware to me when I was watching a movie called A Quiet Place between two friends who were just you know, and it's just like I've never heard anything so loud because the first 5-10 minutes of that movie is dead silence. It's just a movie theater of crumpling packets and mouths chewing. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
So it's not really even like, I think the chewing I could probably deal with, but if we're getting rid of all annoying stuff, I'll just take it away. It's the sound of swallowing anything, swallowing liquid, swallowing actual food that you chewed up, pills. It all sounds gross. I'm neurodivergent, so I get hyper vigilant or hyper aware on stuff. And when it's really quiet and my husband is eating, I'm just like go somewhere else and eat.
My wife is exactly the same. She's got ADHD and ODD, and if I'm sitting there, like, the movies are not so bad because you can, there's generally, except for A Quiet Place, there's a lot of noise and everything.
Yeah.
But if we're sitting there and we pause the movie or we pause whatever we're watching and I'm eating, because I'm deaf, I don't hear myself eat. So I sometimes, especially when I've got my headphones on, if I'm watching something on my computer, because I'm a big wrestling fan and she doesn't like it, so I watch my wrestling on the computer. And if I'm eating lunch while I'm watching it, she'll come and tap me on the shoulder and she'll like, can you just chew and swallow quieter? It's like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize my existence was bothering you, to the fact that I'm nourishing myself so I can stay alive. But yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I've put up with that for, God, almost 13 years now. So yeah, I can understand.
And I don't even like listening to myself swallow or chew. Like if it's too quiet, I can't even. I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Came up with an answer.
I can agree with that.
Well, hopefully the next one will be easier. What is something on your bucket list?
So I actually have fibromyalgia. So that's a chronic pain disorder. It usually stems from complex PTSD and other neurological disorders. And so I have stopped being able to do a lot of physical things. So my goal, hopefully, is I'm working on it. There's a whole bunch of different research, and I've had it for years now, probably 10. No, probably more than that. But I want to run a half marathon. So that's like, if I can get there, it'll be amazing. Not a full one, because that's so long.
That's great, yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you.
My brother-in-law, he's a huge runner. He just did like one of the marathons recently, but he broke snapped his tendon or something in his leg. Like he was in a boot for 6 months or something, and so he's been it was driving him insane. So he had to work to get back to the point where he could start running again. So,
yeah, it's amazing how much it takes to heal your body completely.
Yeah.
So, no, I used to do cross country all the time, like in high school, and then I was a runner, even after my kids were born and stuff. And then, like 2013, I just started having all over body pain, and I had to stop everything.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
marathon.
it's not good. Like my wife suffers from chronic pain as well. She's got something called visceral hyperalgesia, where her their pain nerves have been left on due to some surgery she had. So yeah, she went from doing all this stuff to not being able to do much at all. So I can definitely understand there. But are you currently training, or is this just something that you hope to do in the future?
Yeah, that's in the future. So over the last few
Mm-hmm.
years, I've done a couple of really helpful things. I
Mm-hmm.
did this really interesting diet where it's supposed to be like a hormone reset, and it's not necessarily my synapses and nerves are always firing as well. Like they're hyperactive. They're not necessarily on, but they're just so used to being in survival mode. And now that I'm not, they're like,
Yeah.
hey, this is gonna happen.
Mm.
And I found out that I have an insane sensitivity to grain, which is super annoying
Okay.
because corn and rice are in
Yeah.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I found great substitutes. So that really stopped a lot of the stuff, and a lot of other things in my body started clearing up. And recently just cut out all processed sugar, and that's helping. They found out that my body produces a protein that like basically demolishes B12. So any of my vitamins I'm not producing, or they're not breaking down in my body
Wow.
well. So that's like another step. So I can,
Okay.
when I was in Maine, the weather was different. So I went rock climbing and I was kayaking in the ocean. And then I came back to Ohio, and there's this humidity and stuff. And I did yoga today for 15 minutes, and my hands were shaking, and
Wow.
so it's all back there. So small steps,
Yeah.
but pretty
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. 100%. Oh, that's good. Okay. Well, question number 3 is one of our favorites. So Jamie, I think you're going to bring up
Yep.
a image for this one.
Ready? It's ready.
So what TV shows of any genre, what 4 TV shows are on your Mount Rushmore?
So Parks and Recreation,
Mhm.
always. Michael Schur is an amazing writer,
Yep.
and he has amazing people surrounding him all the time because he's awesome. Star Trek, any Star Trek. Specifically, right now, I grew up with this Next Generation, but the Strange New Worlds is really good this year.
That's so good.
Yeah, I was really disappointed. I like Discovery after they did the time jump. And it was like the first 2 seasons didn't need to be there, but then
Yeah.
it's but so we'll just say Strange New Worlds since it's the most relevant, although the Next Generation, Patrick
Yeah.
Stewart,
Mhm.
always. And then Buffy, the Vampire
After,
Slayer.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Have to love it.
that's a classic. Classic.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's see. So, I like cooking competitions, and I've
All
always
right.
watched
Mm-hmm.
them. And I actually work for a chef who was on a cooking competition, and she does a lot of stuff now. And I applied for the job because I knew her from Top Chef, so it'll be Top Chef any season, except
Okay.
2, not Top Chef 2, but you can put like Tom Colicchio up there or something.
That's all right. Funny enough, that's the second cooking show we've had mentioned on this podcast. On
Really?
the
What was
Route
the
March.
first one?
Mike Molman did the Great British Bake Off.
Oh, he did
That's
too. Yeah, I remember
that's a good one.
He had 3 sci-fis and the Great British Bake Off.
that.
It was
Yeah.
fantastic. Ryan, have you been watching Strange New Worlds? Because this season's for
Nah,
you.
no, I don't like Star Trek.
Do you like horror?
Yeah,
It's
Because
duh.
this season is horror.
Yeah, but is it though? Is it sci-fi
yeah.
horror or is it?
No, it's
It's like I don't know. I haven't gotten too far into it
no.
because
I'm
again,
4 episodes in or something.
yeah, it's all with the Gorn, right? And it's all like
Yeah, you'd
it's
Yeah,
like
but
it,
then
Ryan.
but you know me, then I'm gonna have to go back and watch the first few seasons to get there, and I just don't have that much
Well,
interest.
not necessarily. They do recaps. You know.
Yeah, but look, I'm watching Aliens Earth because that to me last night was sci-fi horror done right.
Hmm.
I really enjoy that. I'm not a massive sci-fi guy. Like, yes, I love Next Generation because I love Patrick Stewart, and my wife is a big Trekkie, so she loves all. We've watched all of the Star Trek, every single
Yeah.
one that's come out, and the movies are good. Don't get me wrong, but the TV shows they just drag out too much for me. You know what I mean? Like Picard was good, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'll
So
just say
I'm gonna
this.
have to watch it.
I was never a Trekkie fan at all until Strange New Worlds.
Yeah,
Huh.
but I don't want to be a Trekkie because then I've got to go back and watch all this other. You
No,
know
but
me, I'm a completionist.
yeah. So what's wrong with that?
There's a
Nothing's
ton of
wrong with that, but I've got so many shows that I haven't even been able to finish Resident Alien, and I was ahead of you for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I don't have enough hours in the day to add another 25,000 shows to my list.
Ryan,
You know what I mean?
if we sell a shirt, will you watch Strange New Worlds?
No, because you'll buy that shirt.
I can't
You'll
afford.
buy it.
Yeah,
I'll buy
probably.
See, it's just
it's so do you
I
know
look.
the oh gosh, what's his name? Um I can't remember his name now. He's the guy that made Pushing Up Daisies. He's writing for I'll have to look it up. I'll send it to you.
Mhm.
He's really good. The new stuff is really, really amazing.
Yeah.
Like I
Um
really like the actor that plays Pike as well
Mhm.
because he's like he was in a James Bond villain that I really
Yeah.
like. He was in a lot of good movies. He's in the Green Hornet as well, which not everyone
Yeah.
likes, but I actually really like. So, but yeah, it's just because it's for me at the moment, it's just too much commitment. I mean, I have to watch 7 hours of wrestling a week
You don't have to.
minimum
You
because
choose
they're the
to.
three shows that I watch. I choose to, yeah, definitely. That's what part of my shows that I watch by myself. But I've still got Resident Alien. I've still got
Wait.
like all. There's
Well,
been a few good new shows that have come out this year.
yeah, but Resident Alien, you got 2 episodes and then it's done forever, right?
Yeah, but I'm only up to. I think I'm up to. I think I lied to you the other day. I think I'm up to.
Oh,
I'm just gonna. You can edit this out. I'm up to episode 6. So I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 5
4 to go.
episodes to go.
how many
5
seasons
technically because I have to watch
Four seasons
that
4.
of
is?
Resident Alien. Yeah.
4 seasons. That's when I'm like, I have to watch it, and then
It's really
I
good.
start watching something else.
And it ends. Like it ends.
Yeah.
You know?
And now
Good.
you can watch it now that it's officially finished. Like episode 10 aired last week. So you can watch the whole thing in one
Mm.
block. And Jamie said the ending is a good ending, so you can tell at the
Yeah.
end of the series.
Very good.
But yeah, I just honestly, because I was away, or I was up visiting my dad, and my dad lives about almost 3 hours away. And I was up visiting him from Tuesday to Friday last week. So like I just and I'm out 3 days a week too, so I just don't really have the time to be honest with you. I'm doing a lot of reading, especially for this podcast, so that's got to take precedence.
I'll tell you.
I started reading a lot more books.
Uh, I watched Start the Next Generation. I don't know, like a year ago, because I was like, this is going to be awful, but it totally stands up. It totally
Yeah, it
stands
does.
up.
Mm.
Even like 30 years later, it's so
Yeah.
crazy. My
Mhm.
husband wasn't a Trekkie, and he refuses to call himself a Trekkie. He's much
Mm.
more of a Star Wars
Mm.
person.
Yeah, me
And
too.
Princess Leia was
Yeah.
the first, she was the strong female, like Princess Leia came first for me,
Yeah.
and then Star Trek. But I
Yeah.
love Star Trek so much more than Star Wars because, but Princess Leia is a badass. So,
I just like good
and
writing.
But well, Jamie knows for me, like they tried to get me into Stargate, and I couldn't because it was just like the same every time they went to a new planet. It's like, oh, we're on a new planet. I'm like, I've seen that forest before.
Mm.
It was like they filmed in the same section, and but I agree with you. Next Gen does hold up. We watched it, God, I think maybe about 3 years ago, all of it because it was all on Netflix, and like to me, I couldn't like you can tell it's older, but I couldn't fault it. It still
Mm.
holds up. The stories are still good. There's no, rubbish episodes or anything like this. It's really good. So I can definitely attest to that. So look, that to me, that's my contribution to that and Picard and the Star Trek movies. I'm doing enough for Star Trek as it is.
So
I am, yeah, I was blown away by J.J. Abrams versions, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's just so good.
I
And
just
then
didn't like how they said like that was in just a different like it was in a parallel universe to the
it's
original
a
Mm.
different
ones.
time.
Yeah, different timeline. That's right. Yeah, and I was like, okay, that's cool. That's how you get Leonard Nimoy in one of the movies. But I was just like the original, and the way, like, my wife liked it, but I didn't like how they swapped the Wrath of Khan ending, with Kirk and
Yeah. Oh, I
Spock.
loved it.
They
I
swapped
loved
that.
it.
And I love Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan. He
Yeah.
was really good. But the guy who plays the original Khan in the original movie was fantastic, though. I will
He
say that.
was.
Yeah.
But
There's a
yeah, I didn't.
there's a meme floating
Yeah,
around the internet about him as Khan and then him as the Paradise Island guy, and like he couldn't get a
yeah, yeah,
job because he was those two things. It's a
mhm,
really funny meme. I can't remember. Sorry, I didn't mean to
yeah.
interrupt you.
That's all right.
No, no, no. I do, because I was going to say he was really good at Khan, but when we were watching it, I just kept expecting a small guy to come out and go, "Look, boss, they're playing, they're playing." But it just didn't work. But no, he was really good. But look, that's my contribution to Star Trek. I'm happy with it. I don't need any more Star Trek in my life. I'm good.
Even if it's the best thing that you would ever see.
It wouldn't be the best thing you've ever seen, Jamie, because
Ryan,
I've
I,
seen a lot.
I know what you like, and I'm just saying you will love
Yeah.
it. But this isn't the Star Trek podcast, so
No, it's not.
let's move on to
I
I think this is we're half an hour in and we haven't finished we've only just finished the third icebreaker, so I think we're doing well.
what is your zombie apocalypse plan?
so I love this question because Facebook once told me I would survive a zombie apocalypse. I took the quiz. Facebook is never wrong. They told me I would. So I would do some kind of Resident Evil kind of crazy nonsense. And
Nice,
I have
nice.
the really strong fight or flight, and I was in survival mode for so long. Like it would be so easy for me to to snap into that. And one time I got stuck in a mosh pit and somebody stepped on my leg, and my jeans were like the long jeans because it was, the early
Mhm.
2000s, and I like started going under all these huge dudes who were moshing, and I ripped my way out of it. So I'm like, I can totally survive a zombie apocalypse. I like knives and daggers, but guns are okay too. I don't have them at my house, but they are fun to shoot. So
I
against um,
I can definitely agree with the Resident Evil thing. I think I'm well prepared. I have played all of the games multiple times over. I have finished them all with a high success rate.
yeah.
I agree with guns, but knives have just got that little personal touch. You can see the life go out of their eyes just one more time with a knife. Especially the zombies, like the second lot of the little bit of life that they have left that is forcing them to roam the earth and just watch that go out of their eyes just a little bit.
Yeah.
I can definitely
Yeah.
get on board with that.
We have an arcade down the street, and my husband is like, he's a baseball player. So him and his whole family, they played baseball. That's what they did. They like were outside all summer long doing stuff, running all over the place. And so he didn't play a lot of video games. So I take him to the video game, the arcade now, and we do double person shooter zombies. So like I don't even know. There's like a whole bunch of
Nice.
different games, and we just so I'm nerding him
I
out.
like it.
I don't like the I
That's
don't
good
like the new
training. Training.
I don't like the new arcades because I went to one probably 5, 6 years ago, and it had like a new Jurassic Park one, and it's
Yeah.
like you sit there with a
Hmm.
machine gun and just go, and I'm just like, I prefer the single shot, and they had to shoot. There was one I loved. It was Lost World or something, and you had the T-Rex jaws would open up, and you'd have to shoot at 5 targets in its mouth, and then it would.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the best game. But now it's just all machine gun, endless fire. You know,
Yeah.
no concentration.
Didn't we finish that game that time? I think we
Hmm?
finished it. The Jurassic Park at
Oh,
Rouse
right, yeah,
Hill.
yeah, 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 yeah. I
I
think
think we
so.
finished. Yeah. I
Yeah,
went to a little bit of money on that, so I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. I have a vivid recollection of finishing the Jurassic Park game with you at Time Zone. So,
I
but yeah,
finished
I
the
haven't been.
original one, the old school Lost World one back in the 90s, and it cost
Yeah.
me $50. It's just
Well,
restart,
when you
restart.
think about it, like back in the 90s, a new game like was about $50, so
Yeah,
you got your money's worth. You know,
yeah, I
you
did.
finished it.
It's the
And,
only arcade I've ever finished. Only arcade game.
okay.
We so we're real lucky because we have two different kinds of arcades here. Like we have the one and I mean it has Dig Dug, it has like Galaga, and then it has like the
Yeah.
newer shooter games too. And then there's a pinball museum,
All right.
right? Like 20
Okay.
minutes away. So half of it is all old pinballs. The next generation one is flipping hard as hell. And then the other half is like video games from like 1970 to like 2000. So
Wow.
it's pretty cool. It's loud. Like we can't stay there long because
Oh,
it's
it would
loud.
be, yeah.
It's good.
It would be. I remember back here when I was younger, I think when I was in high school, there used to be a time zone in a shopping center not far from me. And they used to do this thing on Friday nights where you could go from 9 p.m. till midnight. You'd pay like
Oh,
$30
that's right.
and all the games were unlimited, like it was unlimited game. And I remember me and my friends used to go there, and I swear one night we spent the whole 3 hours on Street Fighter 2, just going back and forth, back and forth. But yeah, it was unlocked. Everything was unlocked. It was all free. And, you know, they made money off that and they sold like snacks and stuff. So
Yeah.
that was cool back in the day. That was definitely like mid to late 90s. So
Yeah,
when
because
that happened.
I remember that because won't make sense to you. You can't remember. There's a place called Penrith. It's actually where they had the rowing in the Olympics in the year 2000. But there's a big complex there, and they had this
Yeah.
massive time zone, and they did the same thing. Like certain times, free games. Ah,
That's how you reel
ah,
everybody in.
it's
I'm
I miss those.
I'm
I
just
miss
just
them.
check I'm just checking car I'm just checking you might have a ghost behind you, or do you have a dog
He's a dog.
just behind you?
He he
Yeah.
likes to talk to people.
I'm like, oh, puppy.
He's bringing you his peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh,
He is an
awesome.
English Shepherd. He
Ah.
80 pounds, super smart, has the worst anxiety and no
Mm.
impulse control. It's he didn't okay, so I closed the door because when he sees somebody walking, he flips the fuck
No.
out.
Yeah.
Sorry if you don't swear. But
No, that's fine. That's fine.
if he if I close the door when he's out of here, he literally like throws his body up against the door because he's got so
Hmm.
much anxiety.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
All
Ah,
right, thank you.
lovely puppy. Bye
He
bye.
is. He's very he's
I
he's
have
a
a
he's a
I have a cat
okay.
that does the same thing. She's got so much anxiety. Like any little noise will scare her. But if I go into the bedroom and close the door without her, she will literally headbutt the door until I open the door and let her in because she doesn't like to be apart from me. She just like she's just attached, surgically attached. Like she's in with my wife in the bedroom now, and I'll probably go in after we finish recording, and she will just meow at me because I've abandoned her for 2 hours. So
There you
yeah,
do you know
she's very yeah, oh, 100% every night at bed, 8:30, she'll come over to me and she'll look at me and is like, is it time to go to bed yet? I'm like, no, it's not time to go to bed yet. And then I go in and she just sits on my lap till I go to sleep. So she's awesome.
Hmm.
that's pretty much the way he is too. We have a cat and a dog. So my cat has always
Okay.
had dogs. My cat is 17 years old. He can't see out of one
Oh
eye. He's
wow.
gone
Mm.
deaf. He's actually like a his parents were like a feral barn cat, an outdoor cat. So he's
Wow.
literally like 7 pounds at his most. Like he's very small. Um, and so he's taken to my husband, and if my husband, even he can't even hear him sit down anymore because can't hear. He just automatically like the energy shifts in the house or something, and he's like on top of him if my husband sits on the couch, and he's like, so it's funny.
Yeah.
Cats and dogs. Hi.
Yeah, yes. My cat, anytime, me and my wife have any kind of anxiety, she will literally jump up on us and sit on us until we feel better. Like she'll just take that anxiety away. So yeah.
Maybe that's why she's
He's
so anxious because she's absorbing everyone's
Yeah,
anxiety.
yeah.
possibly. Yeah, possibly. But all right, well, again, we're making records here. I'm gonna ask the final icebreaker question so we can get into the good stuff and talk about your book. So are you familiar with Bill and Ted from their movies? You know, Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Okay.
Keanu Reeves was my second crush after Richie
Yeah.
Rich. So
Oh wow. Richie Rich and Keanu Reeves. That's a good mix.
so similar. But sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
When you're talking about Richie Rich, are you talking about the movie Macaulay Culkin, or are you talking about no?
The cartoon comic kid. I mean, I was like 6 years
Okay.
old and we had the Richie Rich board game and he was the cartoon and everything like that. So he was my first crush.
Hmm.
So,
Okay.
Everyone's had a cartoon crush. I think mine was Princess Jasmine.
A lot of a
Vince,
lot of a lot of guys have like
Or
Jessica
Ariel.
Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was in puberty when that came out. So I think a lot of my friends were in puberty when that came out. So I think she was the talk of the group for quite a while. But I digress. Bill and Ted pop up out the front of your house, and they're like, "Whoa, dude! Rufus has asked us to take you for a ride in our time booth phone machine." No, phone booth
Booth
time
time.
machine. I'll get those words right. Where do you go? What do you do? Where do you go? So you can come back. You don't have to worry about implications in the future. Because Bill and Ted never really worried about that too much. So
No,
we're not going to worry about that too much. So where do you go? What do you do?
it's not cool. We just talked about Star Trek for a billion years, but I want to go where when that year is. Because
Mm,
then, even though
Okay.
there's still turmoil and stuff, at least humans are mildly treating each other and other people and other
mm,
creatures with a monicum of, respect.
mm.
I don't feel like that's a fun answer, but that's where my brain went. So
That's
I
all right.
just,
Would
all
you
the
would you
infighting,
want to go? Would you
awful.
want to go and be a part of like let's say Star Trek is real. Would you
Yeah.
like transfer into, the Enterprise and become part of the
Yeah.
crew?
I would. I would. I would not be an engineer. I do not have an engineer mentality or brain, but I would definitely be like a pilot, or I would want Uhura, her job, the translator.
Mm,
Okay.
But I still
All
want to
right.
learn how to kick ass.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
also, so got to throw that in there as well. Combat.
And then you can go absolutely anywhere you want because they got the holodeck.
They do. They do. My brother, if you bring that up to my brother, he goes on a rant about how there can never be. And then we talk about the teleporter and how it's not like you're never really the same person ever again. And so we have,
And then you can just shut him down with one sentence. It's just a TV show.
Yeah.
I know,
I
I
mean,
know.
you could say the same thing about, interstellar travel. Like all the science behind that. Like if you move, I think if a ship moves at a particular speed, then it'll like basically blow up if it hits a speck of dust. So
Yeah.
you know.
Well, there was someone who like completely shut it down. And again, I apologize, my brain is blanking, but it's they made the point that basically your cells are regenerating every single day, and every 7 years you're technically a new person, and there's
Yeah.
actually science behind it and everything. So it doesn't really matter if your atoms are taken apart and then put back together. Like,
Yeah.
so,
You sci-fi nerds.
Sci-fi
I
nerds.
know.
You sci-fi nerds. I'm a nerd, but I'm just not a
Yeah.
sci-fi nerd.
Well,
So
I like listening to random stuff, Like I'm not a huge sci-fi nerd. I'm interested about, you know, outside the planet. Like there's a lot out there, you know. Like they say in Star Trek,
Oh, definitely. Look,
the
I watch sci-fi movies. I watch Superman. He's an
Mhm.
alien. I like no. In
Yeah.
reality, I like the movies like The Martian and Interstellar, which
Yeah.
seem more realistic.
Mm.
Um, for sci-fi movies like Apollo 13. I
Yeah.
like those kind of movies
Yeah.
just where they go into space. The Martian's one of my favorites. I've actually read the book as well. It's
Mm.
fantastic. That I absolutely love that movie. But yeah, I honestly think maybe what scares me about Star Trek is how big the universe actually is.
Yeah.
There's so many shows, there's so many movies. which I have actually been able to watch. But I think it's just I get like my wife, because she's got ADHD, she gets hyper fixated on things. So if she watches one, like last night we watched Alien, she's like, I want to read all the Alien books. I want to play the Alien game on the PlayStation. I want to watch all the movies, and I want to watch them all now, and I want to do all this now. And I'm like, okay, it's I'm going to bed because I have to get up early for an interview tomorrow. You can do what you like, but like I'm not that kind of person. I can't watch like all these things over and over again in succession. I need to have a break. Like
Yeah.
with shows that I'm watching at the moment, like I'm watching Supernatural, I'm watching
Love
Smallville, stuff like
Supernatural.
that. I'm watching it in like I watch a season of that, and then I watch a season of something else, and then I watch another season of that, and then I watch. So I normally have two shows that go for a long time, and just watch one season of each, so I don't get sick of it.
Yeah.
Because I found that I recently, I was in hospital most of last year, and I started watching The Flash again because I really like The Flash. It's my favorite CW DC superhero show. And I was watching, a couple of episodes a day, and it was going good. But then I got to season 5, halfway through season 5, and I'm like, meh, I have no interest
Bored.
anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't like to get that because then I never finish anything that's longer than 5 seasons. So that's why I try and mix it up. And whereas my wife could watch 100 seasons of a show and be interested from episode 1 to the last episode.
Mm.
Sometimes I wish I had ADHD. I would be able to watch so many more shows. But
Yeah.
but yeah, look, I'm nothing against Star Trek. I'm sure Strange New Worlds is great, but I'm just not ready for that kind of commitment.
It's all right.
It's more than okay. It's not for everybody. It's, it is what it is.
What'll happen is next time we hang out, Ryan, I'll just casually put it on your TV and you're like, oh, this is awesome. And then you'll be sucked right in.
Sucked
No,
in.
Yes,
I
you
will have the
will.
remote. I will have the remote, and you will not do that. What streaming service is it on?
Paramount Plus.
Paramount.
Yeah, damn it, I have that. I
Dude.
was
And they
gonna
have
hopefully say that I don't have it.
like
Yeah.
they are not skimping on anything, even Below Deck, which I have not seen. Is they have everything. So even
Yeah.
the original, which
Yeah.
is as campy as I thought it was gonna be, but I thought TNG was also going to be campy, and so it's a little bit of a
Yeah.
like mind shift for that because it's not campy.
I'll put it this way, Ryan. When I was figuring out my Mount Rushmore of TV shows, that Strange New Worlds was one of the contenders.
It's really good.
Just saying. Just saying. But
This is we're trying to get me to read a book, not to watch a TV show.
Ryan,
Star Trek
Yeah.
books too. There are books.
would you
I
rather
know there's
watch
books.
would you rather watch a Western or Strange New Worlds?
Wrestling.
I said a Western.
Oh, Western. Oh God. I'd watch Star Trek Strange New Worlds over Western. I hate
Yeah.
Western.
There you go.
I understand.
Done.
That's a good
Westerns are Westerns are just like there's no point. It's just like one guy shooting another guy, and then there's like a movie about 7 people, and it's like they're magnificent or something, and they just go around riding horses and shooting people, and it's just waste of time.
There's more to it than that, but
No, there's not really.
They're usually bandits, right? Like they're
Yeah.
bandits or they're
Yeah,
wanted.
bandits or robbers, and they wear balaclavas like they're freaking Spanish or something. And they just wear balaclavas over their mouth, and they've got like old school guns, which let's be realistic, they wouldn't reload that quickly because they're from like the 1700s or the 1800s. But
Yeah.
somehow they've got like a 13 bullet clip in them. But
Well,
I
I think that's something to do with the time era of them filming them.
I think that's something to do with the laziness of writers and producers in Hollywood.
It was
I
it was different
yeah.
back then.
Yeah. Whoever
you-
had no, I
Like-
mean, it's still the same way, but whoever has the money, like, kind of did
Yeah.
that, except,
Yeah.
like, the craft grew as
Yeah.
the money got bigger, so it doesn't matter.
Well, it's back.
Well, the
back-
only Western movie I've watched and I kind of enjoyed was 3:10 to Yuma with Russell Crowe and
Oh yeah.
Christian Bale. I think Christian Bale's in it, maybe. I don't know. I'll look it up. But yeah,
Yeah,
that one was
I watched
good. I
that.
saw that at the movies. And I kind of enjoyed that, but it wasn't like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
But it was okay.
Yeah.
I'm just sorry. Came out in
Yeah.
2017. Sorry, 20. Kristen Bale, Russell
Yeah.
Crowe,
Yeah.
Kristen Bale. 2007. It's all the way.
Yeah.
And
I like that movie.
yeah.
No, but
Oh,
back
Alan
to,
Tudyk's in it.
yep.
I
I
didn't
love Alan
realize that.
Tudyk.
That's probably why I liked it. Yeah, me too. He's awesome.
Alan Tudyk is the bomb. Anyway, we've finished the icebreakers. Let's get into the
Yeah.
fun stuff. Basically, the first question we always like to ask is, what is your author origin story? So basically, how did you get into writing? How did you decide to get to the point where you were writing these two novels that came out this year?
Yeah. So in mine, I feel like it's a pretty similar story to most people. I actually, like, I knew I wanted to be a writer, and I wrote my first book in second grade, and because of my past and the cyclical nature of trauma and everything like that, I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. I was like, no, of course I can't be a writer. So I was 28 and I had two small children, and I woke up and there were people in my head and they wouldn't stop talking to me. And so I was like, oh, I'll just write it down just to get them to shut up. And they never have. But I I wasn't we weren't in a good marriage, so I ended up separating from my first husband, and he's happy now. He's got his own child with another woman and stuff like that. And I decided, so I yeah, 28, the characters started talking. I separated, and then by the time I was 31, I'm like, well, I want to go to college, which is I always had wanted to go. So I had started seeing a therapist at that point, and she's like, just go. And I'm like, I can't do that. And she's like, yes, you can, dot, dot, dot. And it was so much simpler. So I spent from 32 to 38, I was in just doing professional writing and editing, because I was like, I'm going to make money off of this because I know I'm not going to do it as a fiction author. And I hated it, by the way. It was awful. But then I graduated in 2018 with two diplomas because I accidentally picked up a second major because I really, really liked religious studies. And I with an emphasis on like Eastern and African religions, and the way that it was just the critical thinking part. So it brought a whole other level of stuff. And it was an accident. I was like, I am a single mom with two freaking kids going to school full time and working a job. Why in the hell am I picking up another bachelor's degree? But it was like I had gone so far, like every single semester I had already taken the class. So it was like I had like 3 classes left. So I was like, all right. And then I started, and I always had the goal of getting this novel out. And so, like, in the back of my head, I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. So I did technical and professional writing for a while. I did, because of my fibro, I started having it in 2013. I didn't get diagnosed until 2019 or 2018. I started working from home and remotely in 2015. So I've always basically, for the last 10 years, I've worked remotely. And so I was doing a lot of newsletters for people, and I started ghostwriting because I was like, I need to know how to write a book. So I still wasn't confident. I was like, all right, I'll just go. I have this technical degree. I'll do that. Ghostwriting is awful. Not because you're giving your words to people, because people treat ghostwriters in these kind of instances awful. Like, you make no money and they expect so much, and people don't understand how books are written or anything like that. And like, one year I made $9,000. Like, it's just ridiculous. And so then I slowly made my way into ghostwriting for fiction, because I was like, all right, I'm done working for these people, and ghostwriting for fiction didn't really, it kind of brought on the same kind of attitude, but I felt at least satisfied enough because I was learning the craft. I was learning indie publishing. I was learning all of these different things with the intention of finally, because I had finally found my confidence through therapy and, going to college. I met my husband, and a whole bunch of other things. Have a really good group of friends around me now, very supportive people. And so 2023, I had enough of ghostwriting clients telling me that my writing was crap, and that's why their book wasn't selling when they weren't doing anything to actually sell the book, like they weren't marketing it. And so I was like, okay, I'm done. Because it was a whole thing. And I was like, all right, I started working for Tiffany in 2019, part-time. And I'm still part-time for PA and stuff. But 2023, I was like, all right, I'm getting my novel published by 2025. I don't care. I'm gonna write it in 2024. I knew what I had to kind of do to get some exposure before, because I was a no-name author. I'm still a no-name author. No-name author. I wasn't going to look for an agent. I was like, if an agent comes, fine. If not, I don't want to wait anymore. I already waited 15 years.
Yeah.
So I did, and I found a hybrid publisher. And I was like, okay, that's great. We can be a partner. I know what goes into it. You have 30,000 plus readers. Like, I need that kind of exposure. And they wouldn't let me do it the way that I know it had to be done. And they didn't actually talk to me. And they sent me re-recorded messages of, hi, my name is, and I'm like, I am giving you this money and you can't even get on a phone call with me without me having to pay you almost $500 for a 40-minute phone call. So I left them and I was like, I'll just do everything on my own. And I'm very grateful for the education that I have had. It also helped my ego be ground into dust because I was told I was crap so much. And then I'm just like, well, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to do it this way. I'm going to do it. And I've been doing it. And even though I've had difficulties, I don't think that I've had the amount of difficulties somebody else has had when they are first starting out and they don't know anything, because it is so much. Like my husband is going to join, he's coming into the business because we're turning it into a thing, which it really is a business. And he's like, tell me everything. And I'm like, no, I learned it in 6 years. I can't tell you everything. But yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. Did I hit everything?
I think that's a really good story of how you got into it, and we're finding like a lot of people got into writing during COVID because everything just shut down. There was nothing else to do. You couldn't hang out with your friends. Nerds like me were like, sweet, I don't want to go out anyway. I just want to play video games. So I started working from home and I was like, okay, 5 o'clock, finish video game. But I think I was saying to the last person we had on, I really think that the world that we live in now, it's amazing that the publishing has come so far, because now, we have so many amazing indie authors when, say, 10 years ago, or maybe not even, it was just, there was one way to do it, and it was traditional published. Even before starting this podcast, I was ignorant. I literally knew the author. I only read the authors that I'd been reading my whole life. I didn't, branch out or anything. And I think now that, I know Amazon takes a cut, but I think Amazon are doing a really good job with, things like Kindle Unlimited, with, giving chance for an indie author to get their books read. Because most of the books that I've read from authors have been on Kindle Unlimited, and Kindle Unlimited is awesome for me because, I read so much. And then if I read the book on Kindle Unlimited and like it, I'll buy a hard copy of, a paperback of it, or I'll buy my own ebook copy of it because I like to have everything on my tablet. But I think it's really good when you can become an indie writer. You don't have to, conform, I should say, sorry, to the traditional publisher's rules. You can do it your way. And you can own that. Like I know Jamie says he loves having, he would be difficult to deal with if something became a movie or a TV show, because he's like, I just cannot let go of control of my characters. And
I mean, and that was one thing too, as I was learning about indie publishing. First, let me say, like, you with indie, you're right. Absolutely. You can have any kind of career. You can shape it exactly how you want. You do not have to do everything like I'm doing. You don't have to do everything that, somebody who wants to just write a part-time, does like that. So I know indie authors who are indie now, they were traditionally published. They can't touch their old stuff, so they just work on their new stuff. I know indie authors who have an agent and they sell screen rights and they do audio and they do all of those things. And then they get some things, they do indie publishing. Your career can look any way that you want it. You just need to find the right people, and you need to have just a little idea what you want at first, because it's going to change. Like it's going to go bonkers. But that's one of the reasons when I started like seeing behind the curtain, I did not query agents very often. I am not in indie traditional, I'm not in traditional publishing. I have had enough knowledge where I've read people's experiences, people I respect, and I've seen that, where I was like, why am I going to query someone who is going to take all of my money, not all of my money, but they're going to take a big chunk with purpose. Like, they do all of these things, they lift you up and all of that stuff, but I'm still going to have to market myself, and I'm still going to have to do this myself, and I'm still going to have to do that. So I was like, let me start here and see where it goes. And it's really been I love it. And I love helping people figure out what kind of strategy and what kind of journey they're going through. It's so much fun.
When I first started writing during COVID, I self-published my first book, and then I got approached by a hybrid, and I just went with them because I wanted to learn what the process was, how it went. And yeah, I still had to market everything and all that stuff, but then they went bankrupt, and I'm like, well, I was only going to ever do one book with them to see what it was like, and just through that you learn so much. So I think it's a valuable thing to do at least once if you're starting out. I can understand why people would want to do it, but I just love the freedom I have now. I know how to publish my own books. I know how to do it. I'm still working on marketing and still working on figuring out what works. And I actually like that process.
Yeah. And the thing is that it doesn't matter. It's always changing. So even if you do something this way, it is going to change. And it let me have so much more flexibility just in my personality. Like, I'm like, all right, it just, so many things just roll off my back now, because I'm like, well, that didn't work, or well, they changed that, let's do it another way. So it's really really cool. The marketing stuff, like I said, I was a no-name author, and I hadn't been on the internet or social media since 2010. And then in 2008, 2010, it was a very different environment. It was so I was like, I know I have to be on social media. I know I have to be there. I don't want to. And then I saw all of these people giving up because they refused to market themselves. And I was just like, well, I'm doing this, so I'm going to suck it up and I'm going to do it. And I gravitated towards Instagram, and I have found the most supportive community there, and the most respect. As an indie author, with an indie author, I have so many really cool things happen in Ohio, from people that are just so supportive of indie authors. There's like 15 or 20 cons at conventions that I've heard about through Instagram. I have met authors who are local to my area through Instagram. Like, I wouldn't have met them otherwise. So it's definitely it's you still have to be careful. I haven't had any kind of negative experience yet. When I see something happening, I just kind of step away, and I'm like, all right, you're not my people.
No, it's definitely, I feel the same.
I find,
sorry, Ryan, I'll let you talk this time.
No, it's all good. I find Instagram, I'm not a writer, but I've been doing this podcast. I've kind of become an honorary member of that community, because
Yeah.
I pretty much follow every author we talk to, and it gives me, I get to keep up with what, when like one of my favorite horror authors we interviewed, Don Campbell. I found out about his new book on
I
Instagram, and
know Don.
Dom's the
and
bomb.
oh, do you? Oh, there you go. He's awesome. We had him on a while ago, and I got his. I finished reading his anthology book and his Whispers in the Wood book,
Mm.
and I commented while I was away. I was like, oh man, when's this coming out on Kindle Unlimited? I want to buy it. Or when's it coming out on Kindle? Because I bought his other book. And he's like, oh, thanks. And then he private messaged me and he goes, don't waste your money. I'll send you a free copy. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I want to buy it because I like your writing and
Yeah.
I respect the way, I read his Whisper in the Woods for free. And then I went and bought a copy of it because it was so good.
Yeah.
So I that's what I find, like, I've made so many cool friends through the author
Yeah.
community, and got to see them grow. Like a friend of the show, Amy Cormack, has got a new daughter who was born not too long ago, and it's like I feel a kinship. I'm like, I see that, and I was like, oh, okay, because we've spoken to Amy a few times,
Mm.
and just through Martin Kearns, who's one of our sponsors, we've spoken to him a few times, and when I was in hospital for the most of last year, me and him spoke every day, and he kept me going, and he, you know what I
Mm.
mean, like. And it was just because we interviewed him a couple of times. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's the community on there is just it's probably part of the most non-toxic community I've ever been a part
I
of.
know.
Yeah.
I did not expect that. I was like, fine, I'll do it. But I went
Yeah,
in with the goal is that I wanted to have engagement. I wanted to have a genuine connection to the people because I really
mhm,
believe when you do that,
Yeah.
they're so much more supportive, like, and I respect them and they respect me, and
yeah,
that's how it is. I actually met a woman who I do a monthly Instagram live with, and she decided she wanted to do the traditional publishing route. So I watched her finish her novel, start her query. I saw the tears,
Yeah.
I saw the stress, I saw all this stuff, and she kept pivoting her ways, and she kept pivoting all of her stuff, and she ended up getting like a whole bunch of asks, or whatever it's called, like offers for
Mm.
representation. She landed with one agent, that so I can see it's possible. I've seen 4 or 5 people get it. So I always encourage people, like, if you really want to do agented stuff, it's possible. I know these people. I speak
yeah,
with them almost daily. So she and I offer a space where we don't, like, there's room for everybody. It's not like traditional publishing or indie publishing, and we don't bash each other. It's just sort of like, what do you want to do? We'll help you get there. We'll debunk everything that people have told you and then figure it out.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think it's like I said, it's just so great that
yeah.
we're living in an age where you guys can write a book and you don't have to worry. You can write it the way you want to write it. You don't have to
Hmm.
worry about a publisher going, no, 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 and changing the book so much that it's not even your work anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like it's such, and that's what I think like some of the indie books I've read over the past few years that we've done this podcast have been the best books I've read. They've been
Yeah.
better than half the horror books. Like I'm a massive horror nut. So we had a guest on. I don't know when this is airing, but let's say a couple of weeks ago. Called her name was Janelle Sheikey, and she has 3 horror books out. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. And I read her latest book, which is The Clatter Man, which is out now on Amazon. There's a plug for you. And it was insane. It's a slasher kind of urban legend book. It was fantastic. Like it is better. It's probably better than any of the latest Stephen King books that I've read.
That's
And
awesome.
I've only found that because we had her on the podcast.
Yeah.
So some of the indie books that I've read over the last couple of years have been probably better than the traditional ones that I've read.
Yeah.
So
I was I was really surprised, and not surprised in a bad way. I was like delighted because I do have a core group of authors that I hang out with on Instagram, and
mhm,
the amount of talent in all of the people, it's mind blowing. Like, and the fact
mhm.
that they like my novels too. I'm like, but yours is so good. And so
That's
it's
it. That's
definitely,
it.
yeah.
And the fact that and like I even say it when I read Jamie's latest book, Ancora, out now on Amazon. It's because I read it before it came out, obviously, and I read it in like it is I think it was like 180 something pages,
Yeah.
and I did it in 2 2 hour sittings over 2 days, and I'm reading it and I'm like I can't believe I know this person who wrote this book, and I get that from reading the indie authors like with Don and with Janelle and Martin and even Rebecca Cassells. I've read her new book and it's amazing. Like just to read that and to know that I've got this friendship with the people that I'm reading,
Yeah.
it just gives you that. It
Yeah.
gives you more of a good feeling than just read like I'll read the new Stephen King book, who I'm never going to meet in my entire life, to to reading someone who I've had the pleasure of talking to. So I think that, and that's why we like to get personal with our authors, because I feel like if I watch something like this and I'll be like, okay, you know what, I'm going to buy that book because I like the
Hmm.
person, not because
Yeah.
I've walked into a bookshop and it just looks good. I'm
Mm.
talking to
Yeah.
the person. I've learned from the person. I know this person is a good person and passionate about their work, and I want to read it.
Yeah.
So, and that's probably why I buy most of the books from the authors we talk to.
Well, and there's so many tools out made by people who started indie
Mm.
publishing in 2010, in 2013. Like there's Publisher Rocket, there's, Atticus for non-Apple computers.
Mm.
There's, you can format your stuff on your own.
Yeah.
Canva is amazing. I
Yeah.
did hire cover artists.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the process of switching over to a cover artist. And I saw a cover, but I didn't mean to do this. But this one is the second cover on my novel, because he sent me over like I said, can you send me all of the different parts? Because I want to use them for promotional material. And
Mm.
he sent me this picture, and I fixed this up in Instagram. In Canva, and it was an accident.
Mm.
It was like an accident. And then I showed my street team, and they're like, "Oh my god, you got to do it!" And I asked a couple more people. So I do have background in graphics, and
Mm.
I did
Okay.
do it that way. But it, you there's so like even if you don't know how to make a cover, like Ingram Spark is
Mm.
obviously like it's a distributor that is from Ingram for indie publishers, but they will make your cover template for you. You just have to
Yeah.
put picture in
Yeah.
this, and there's so many good tools that so many people don't really know about.
Yeah.
Um, it's a great time to be an indie publisher.
Yeah. No, I definitely use Ingram Spark. And for that reason, like the templates are so easy because I do my own covers, but I don't do the art. I do everything but the art, if you know what I mean. So the
Yeah,
typography and all that. So look, that's fantastic. Since we're on the topic of covers, we're gonna do things a little out of order this time, but let's talk covers.
Yeah.
I'll bring up your very wonderful covers, and we'll have a talk about them. So Ryan, you're the one that usually
Yes,
asks the cover questions. So do you
I
want to?
am. I am. Yeah, I grew up as well as reading. I grew up. I'm a really big comic book nerd. I've read comics
yeah,
since I could start reading, and I still read them every night tonight. Now. So I do like to spend a lot of time on the art, because I can really appreciate really good art. So now you've already mentioned that you did contract someone out
I did.
to design these covers. Was it the same person who did both covers?
He did do both covers.
Yeah.
This one right here, or you can't see where I'm pointing because we are not in person. But the Cinders Burn at Midnight one, I actually um took the one of the elements that he had done, the
Mhm.
door and the cherry blossoms, and I saturated it and turned it into the super pink and super blue. And then I put
Yep.
the lightning on it and everything like that. I did hire him to do my first one, which is beautiful also, and I don't think I have any over here, but I switched everything over. But he did both the first one and Ashes, and he did the original art was his as well.
Okay, awesome. Did you want to give him a plug or a shout out, or are you planning on using him for future books?
I'm moving to somebody new.
Oh,
Okay, well, damn you, you cover artist person. We don't like you. No, I'm joking.
No, he's
But yeah, no,
does
I
beautiful.
like I
Yeah,
like
no,
it. You
he
can
does.
tell you can tell by looking at the writing and just the way that the covers are designed. Obviously, you said you put the lightning in, which is on both books. You can tell that it's a part of a series, which is what I like. You know, the last thing you want to do is to pick up a book in a bookshop and go, oh, is this part of this series or is this a new thing? Or, you can clearly tell, okay, that's part of a series. And that's what you want for continuity and because, not all like, and this is no negativity on readers at
Right.
all, but us readers are not as smart as you authors. So we like to be like, I
But
like to be told that this is the next book in the series because I don't want to have to go, Google 50 different pages to find out, oh, okay, this is the second book of
Yeah.
the series. And it makes it a lot easier when you can clearly tell that they are part of a series.
and
So
I
no,
I just would yeah, oh thank you. I mean, I do want to say he's amazing artist. His communication style is very different than mine. And
mhm,
I think we were frustrating each other, but I
Mm,
would never say don't work with him.
yeah.
I'm moving on.
okay,
I just wanted to say that too. But yes, this is part of a series.
awesome. No, I really like the look of those, and you can tell it's kind of like you can tell. Okay, there's definitely the fantasy element of the books, but you can tell with the nice flowers and stuff. Maybe there is a little bit of romance and a little bit of hanky panky happening. Um, But
They're
no,
right.
I really that is another question I will ask. I may as well ask it now for our readers. So I like to let our readers know about if we do talk romance or romantic
Mhm.
dark romance fantasy, um how because I can deal with a lot, but some of our readers can't. So how spicy do these books get?
That is a very interesting question. I will say that I put open door scenes in this novel
Okay.
or in all of my novels on purpose because
Mhm.
my characters are 18 and 20. The novellas are at different ages, but so that's a whole little other genre thing, but people were going to want to market it as YA, even if I wasn't with an India or an agent or a trad publisher. That's where they were going to gravitate. So I was like, my themes in my book are all CPTSD. There's flashbacks. There's lots of triggers, and it's basically trauma with magic,
Mm,
um,
Okay.
storytelling, and so I purposely put that in. Now I there are different kind of spice levels, and I researched this because I was a ghostwriter. I did contemporary romance for 2.5 years. I like researched these spice levels, and according to the things that I found, it's a spice level 4. But
Okay.
according to the actual readers in their spice ratings, I'm a 2. So it's very interesting to see the different perspectives and the different personalities. I
I
use
got
slang. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was just saying that that's so funny you say that because we had a romance author on a couple of weeks ago, and she said the exact same thing via
Yeah.
the traditional spice chart. She was a 4, but her
Hmm.
readers said that she was only a 2. So
Yep.
that's
mm,
very funny that you say that. I just
mm,
thought, okay.
Well, I guess according to the readers, because I do have a street team, I do have ARC reader reviewers, and I have all of that. So I asked them, I'm like, so why don't you put me at a 4? And they said because a 4 in their eyes, first they read a lot of dark romance, which is a whole other bag of what it is.
Mhm.
But there has to be 2 kinks in it to be called a 4. And I was like, what? That was their answer. And I was like, okay, don't know how to do that, but okay.
mm.
Maybe the readers of yours and this other author that we interviewed are just very dirty, dirty people, and
And
they're just
I have someone who reads my books and I love her and she's super sweet, but she when she did one of her reviews, she called my book cozy. And I was like,
okay.
all right.
Mm.
there's sexual assault in mine, but sure.
It's cozy assault.
It's attempted. She gets out of it, but it's
Yeah.
still there. And then for the second one, she called my second one sweet. And I'm like, her mother is torturing her, and there are drugs involved. So, but she reads really, really dark, dark, dark romance, and I'm like, okay. I still don't know that it's cozy and sweet, but everybody's perspective, it's been very interesting and kind of exciting to read all of the different ways people see something, because nobody looks at it the exact same way.
Well, the other author we had on there said she had a reader who was like in her 80s and came up to her when she met her at a book signing or something, and she's like, "Oh, I really like your books, but I feel like there should be a shower scene, like a shower sex scene." And she said, "Here's my email address. Shoot me an email. I can describe a shower scene for you if you want me to." And this little old lady's like 80 years old, and she's telling the author, she's like, "I can describe a shower sex scene for you if you want me to do that." So I'm like, "Wow, I swear, the romance genre had some dirty, dirty people that read their book."
Well, and then on the other hand, for me, I did have somebody read my novel or my novella. So I have a male romance as my prequel. It's not a prequel. Everybody says it's a prequel. So again, I'm not going to fight you. And she said she didn't like my story because the character said the word cock. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, well, I didn't know how old he was. I'm like, well, he's 18, he's in college, but I think that teenage boys still use the word cock, and so she didn't like that. So again, it's just sort of like all over the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't please everyone.
I mean, I feel like cock is not even really a swear word, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I come.
He wasn't using it as a swear word. He was calling his penis a cock, and she didn't like that.
Okay. Well, maybe she should go and read some.
Maybe she lives on a farm surrounded by cocks.
Yeah. Maybe she took offense because like some of her animals are cocked, and she didn't like the comparison for his penis to a rooster.
Well, when I first started writing contemporary romance, I was like, I'm just going to use the word penis. And I wrote the word penis 3 times in a 70 or 80,000 word novel. And those beta readers ripped it apart because they're like, you can't say the word penis. And I'm like, why? But it's not sexy. And you can't say the word vagina. It's also not sexy. So I found the original cover.
Oh, wow.
So I just actually looked down. I know there's a light there.
Oh, there we go. Okay. See that? Just missing the door, really? Or the door's too big, you can't see it?
The door is there. It's just super dark. And this is even, he had lightened it up too. So, but I have the painted edges.
I
so
like that, yeah.
I painted my own edges so I can sell special editions.
I like it. I like it.
So is there a special meaning behind the doors on the covers?
Yeah, actually. So basically my female lead, it's a dual perspective, so it's male and female. So my female lead character, she walks through a door of magic because her father astral projects her to the Fey realm, and she sees her father for the first time in 10 years, and she thinks he's estranged and all of this stuff. And he's like, here, open the door, there'll be magic. So that's kind of like a kind of joke throughout all of book 1. Like, they're like, here, walk through a door, and by the end she's like, oh boy, another door. So in the second one, she loses her memories, which may or may not be a spoiler at this point. I don't know what to do about that. She does. But she already has her magic, even though she can't remember it. So that's why I had the door open a little bit. So book 3, I think, is going to be, so it's a series of trilogies. So each trilogy will have their own kind of theme.
So is book 3 going to have windows?
No, I'm gonna figure that out. That's not coming yet.
You're not going to subvert our expectations and give it 2 doors and then a window. So that might be.
Well, everything could be open. Like the windows could be open and the door could be open.
There you go.
It'll probably be some kind of arch or arc, depending on how you say it, and it'll be either light coming out of it or magic or
Okay.
something whimsical.
Well, seeing as we've sort of just touched on it a little bit, why don't you give us the rundown of what the book, what the first book or the second book or the trilogy, what the story is behind that? Because I'm not a big romance reader, but I do like fantasy, so I'm still on the fence, sort of. So sell me the book.
Yay! My favorite part. So the main series is going to be Caitlin and Finn. So Caitlin is the 18-year-old female character. She's going to college. She's super excited to get rid of her tyrannical mother, who is very controlling, very neglectful at the same time, abusive. There's underlying, trauma and everything, domestic issues. So she's super excited. She gets into the limo because they're wealthy, and she gets pulled into this other realm and she sees her father. And then he's like, ta-da, magic exists. So she walks through the door and she has magic. She can feel it. She can do all this stuff. But not only does she have magic, she starts having these flashbacks and she realizes that her mom was using her magic. She held it back from her and using her magic to kill people. So that is it. And she's trying to solve that. And then they figure out that Lilith, the mother, was using drugs to steal her powers and siphon them to kill people out. So that's book one. It's sort of her journey on figuring out and how to deal with the fact that your mom was using magical powers to kill someone, and reliving all these flashbacks and everything, reconnecting with her brother, who was estranged also, but they had a really good relationship when their father was around, and then her brother's best friend. That's the romance, but he's a shifter, and all right, now I'm flailing. There's a special connection. So 3 is a huge number in my series. It will always be there. It is always in the world. So the magic system is basically anything that's 3 is perfect. So that's what the triumph perfectum is. So older kids, the oldest child is always born with 2 powers. So they're more passive. Like Finn is a shifter and he can be invisible. And her brother is the oldest brother, so he can heal and he can hear everybody's thoughts. So she has lightning. So that's very active. Twins Finn brother has fire, so that's very active. But when you get towards your triumph perfectum, which not everybody has, the powers kind of need each other. So they accidentally connect theirs, and then more chaos explodes. There's all kinds of exploding and chaos that surrounds them because they are the triumph perfectum match. Also,
Okay.
I'm so sorry. That was so.
No, that's good. So basically, the book 1 is kind of her Caitlin's origin story.
Yes.
Where she obviously finds out about magic and she finds out about her brother and the powers that he has, and obviously Finn and everything like that. So and if it's a spoiler, please just say it's a spoiler. So is in this first book is the mother the main antagonist?
She is. That's kind of I kind of made that known to everybody but the characters.
Okay.
It was easier that way.
Okay.
To be honest, because amnesia stuff is already complicated enough as it is. So there are other factors at play, and what I'm doing, because I have that world, is with the novellas, I'm kind of expanding on those factors. And each novella are side characters, like Caitlin's brother Max and Finn's brother Aiden, he's the twin brother. They have the match, so that's their origin story. But also there's little Easter eggs in each full-length novel and the novellas. Did I answer that question?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
So,
And obviously, yeah,
and
go
then
ahead.
No, in each trilogy, there's going to be another like big boss. So there's a huge arc from book 1 to book 12, which I've been told don't scare people, don't say that, but that's what it is. So Caitlin and Finn are always going to be the main characters in that full length series. But
Okay.
each trilogy will have its own basically big boss that they'll battle at the end of each.
And then is there that overarching one big controlling thing that they'll finally get to in book 12? Okay,
Yeah,
awesome. Okay, I like that. I like that.
I like video games.
Yeah, well, that's at the end of the. Well, I'm thinking, yeah, like definitely video games, but obviously, like sort of ties it into like when I read comics, they're normally in volumes of 12 issues, which is one
Oh,
year's
I
worth
didn't
of
think.
printing. So, while there are different arcs within that 12 issue series, obviously there is sort of the big bad watching over everything, and then that all comes to fruition towards the end. So. I can see the similarities in that. So that sounds
Yeah.
good. Definitely want to give it a try.
Thank you. Book 2 is just her.
Mhm.
Her mom has taken her back to her house, which again, there's a cliffhanger in book 1. Lots of people were mad. I don't know if it's a spoiler at this point or not. It is or it's not. Everybody says, "Oh, there's a cliffhanger." So in the reviews, so there is. And then she doesn't remember anything. So that's basically all of this crazy stuff happening in a small place, which was also very hard to write because it's like, how can you make it interesting if it's only in this house? Um, so yeah. And then
Okay.
it's sort of like her reconnecting with Finn again and her brother and everything because her mom is manipulative. So they bring her back. She let Caitlin basically go to college to bring her brother back into the
Okay.
family
To
fold.
get his powers as well.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Okay. A
So
question. Oh, I just had a question on the tip of my tongue.
Well, I got
Jamie, just
one.
give me a minute. You can edit it
Oh,
out.
no, that's all right.
Um,
Do you want me to ask one? Because I have one on my head
yes,
while
because
you
there
think
was
of
an
it.
important question I had. I will think
Um,
of it again.
what were some of your inspirations in this? Because my brain, because I grew up a Disney nerd. My brain goes to Rapunzel, Entangled, the evil stepmother kind of thing. Is it anything to do with that, or is that just a coincidence?
it's not. That's kind of a coincidence. So I really resonated with V.C. Andrews when I was a kid. So I
Mhm.
read V.C. Andrews and Stephen King and Christopher Pike and Babysitter's Club. Like it
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
just all kinds of crazy. So V.C. Andrews had these super super dark incestuous books with literal characters who were incestuous. My characters are not incestuous, but it's kind of this same um disturbing parental role models. And I went through like 10 years of therapy, and my therapist passed away, which is a whole other thing, but stopped going because of that, but I was in a good place anyway. And I'm fascinated with neurology at this point because I do have
Mhm.
complex PTSD, and the way that my brain protects itself is also a terrible way that it actually torments you too, right? Like, so I wanted to basically explore trauma with magic and storytelling. So that was a really, really big thing there. And I grew up with Buffy, and
Mhm.
I always gravitated towards magical things. But I was also kind of a dark kid. So
Yeah, I think like I can't say enough good things about Buffy and Angel. I rewatched Buffy while I was in hospital last year and it still holds up to me. Like
it
the
does.
first season is a little bit like Monster of the Week kind of thing, but then as you
Yeah.
go through it, the overarching story gets told. But I remembered the question I wanted to ask. Is your the world that you write, is that set in like a real world place in the world? Because we have a lot of authors who say, "Oh, yeah, it's actually set in this town because I grew up in this town or I live
Yeah.
in this town." Did you take some real world inspiration for the setting of your book?
So technically, yes, not really. It's all fictional towns.
Yeah.
So My world has portal magic. So
Okay.
there are, right now, I've only introduced two different realms. There's Topside, and then there's the Emberlands. So the Emberlands is the fairy realm where there's all kinds of, fae, all different kinds of creatures. And then the Topside is really more like the real world. Technically they live in Connecticut. Two of the characters' parents, or one of the, yeah, never mind. The twins' parents, they live in Vermont. Like it is real world as far as real it could be. Like, but
Yeah.
my city is Sovereign City, where the university is, at. It's, I just wrote the actual city that Caitlin and Max came from. I can't remember that right now. Sorry. But there's another town called Shadows Ridge where magic actually exists, and it is Topside, but they protect it well enough. So if somebody comes in that doesn't know about magic, they don't really see the magic.
Yeah.
So it's a blend.
So it's like
cool.
Superman. Kansas is real. Metropolis isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and I like the idea of, if you don't know about magic or you don't come from magic, you can't see it. Kind of like, a little bit of Harry Potter. If you don't have the magic abilities or you don't know about it, you can't see it. And I think that's
Well,
played the big part.
I really, really played a lot with senses with this. You brought up the flowers, which yes,
Hmm.
is a side effect that it is romantic also. But scent is a huge factor in this. So every single character who has magical powers has a different scent. Like Caitlin's
Okay.
is cherry blossoms and then like wet iron, and because she's got lightning, so the cherry blossoms and everything that's like coconut, almond, and vanilla, like a flavor. Her brother has vanilla and sandalwood. The male main character Finn, he has cedar and snow. Like, so each character has a different scent also. So I like playing with
Okay.
senses.
Awesome. Awesome. So you're saying both of these books are out at the moment. One came
Yeah,
out, I think you said the second one came out on the 24th of June, did you say?
it did. It did.
So you mentioned obviously this is going to be a set of trilogy, but over 12 books. So how far along in the writing journey are you in book three at the moment?
Because I worked at this since it was like a 15 years in the making kind of
Hmm.
thing, I have it in super rough form, but it's going to get completely rewritten because the development and
Yeah.
everything has already come. I will be starting book three. I'm finishing up a novella right now. So what
Okay.
I'd like to do is I like to have the full length book. Well, I released a novella, then the full length book, then a novella,
Yeah.
then a full length book. So it kind of introduces the next characters. But if you don't read the novella, you're still going to be okay. Um, so in I have a novella called Even After, and it is Finn Avery and Aiden Avery's parents and their origin story.
Mm.
So in book
Okay.
two, you get to meet Philip, their father, because he comes in and is like, all businessman stuff. So right now I'm working on my Caitlin and Max's father, Michael. He's estranged. So I'm working on his novella and story. So I'll put that out sometime in early 2026. It actually goes to the editor on the 25th of August. So that's when I'll start to write book three.
Okay.
So I'm not in it at all.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm just looking on Amazon at the moment. I'm guessing one of the novella is an accidental fairy tale. Is that correct?
It is. It is. I'm actually I'm expanding those to full length also. So
Okay.
that'll be something else because Max and Aiden it's a male like romance, and I am not a male or know how anatomy really works sexually. I didn't put open door sex in that. So I have time now. So I expanded it. I put open door scenes. I'm getting sensitivity readers so they can be like, that's not what you do with that. And I can fix it. Because I've read, open door sex scenes with men, male characters. I don't
No
have that.
experience there.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Thank you for that save. So those the even after an accidental fairy tale will also be full length eventually, but that first one is
Okay.
technically it's like volume 5 or something before. And it's real short. It's only like 70 pages at this point, digitally.
Okay. Well, you've officially sold me. I just got the first book on Kindle
Ooh.
Unlimited, so
Thank you.
I'm going to give it a good read. I like to read it and then I'll give it a review on Goodreads and Amazon once I've finished. So yeah,
I
it's
appreciate it.
not generally the kind of books I like, but just the storytelling and the way that you've described it, and it sounds like it'd be a really good read. So
I'm
Well
glad.
done.
I hope
you have officially completed the mission of the podcast, which is to sell a book to Ryan.
all right. That is all I wanted to get out of
Yeah.
this. I will see you guys later. Bye.
I think now would be a perfect time to jump into the bonus stuff then.
I think so
Yeah.
too. This is where we're going to put you on the spot a little bit. But I think I'm going to start off because you started off last time, Jamie.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so there's 6 bonus questions. They're all author book related. So yeah, take your time. No need to give like one word answers or anything. Feel free to expand on it. And starting with the first question, what is a book from your early reading days that really stuck with you?
Okay. I was a dark kid. I'm gonna send a precursor of that. So there was a book that was for level 3 Scholastic or something like that I picked up from my elementary school library. It was called In a Dark, Dark Room. It is widely known. There is this story in there with a girl who has a green ribbon on her neck, and that was my favorite story. I read it to my kids and it horrified them, and I'm like, oh, it really was dark. But her head falls off in the end when she takes the ribbon
Yeah.
off. Her head falls off. So, but that is the story that really stuck with me. Always.
Is that the one where? Because I think it might be a variation that I read very young as well. Is that the one where, she falls in love with a guy and he's obsessed with this scarf that she has around her neck, and he's always saying, "Why don't you take the scarf off?" And she's, "No, no, I can't take the scarf off."
I think
And
I
then
remember that.
Yeah.
eventually, I think when she's asleep, he takes the scarf off and her head falls off.
No, he doesn't take it off. He's old, and he's like, "When can you tell me?" Like they get
Oh yeah.
married. It might be a different version. There's an
Yeah.
adult version. Oh, I forget who the woman is. I think it's the same woman who wrote Mexican Gothic, and I'm sorry I don't remember her name. But so she meets the boy, he's their next door neighbor. He's like, "Can you tell me what the ribbon is?" And she's like, "No, I can't tell you yet." So they start dating. He asks her, no. They get married. He's like, "Will you tell me now?" And like then there's a couple more like things, but when she's on her deathbed, he's like, will you tell me now? And or no, he doesn't even ask. She's like, "Go ahead, take that ribbon off." You can finally do it. And then her head falls off. Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember. I have very vivid memories of reading that when I was very young. So yeah.
Loved it.
Cool. Question number 2. If you could spend the day with any fictional character, who would it be and what would you do? Now, this can expand into games and books and movies, and they're just got to be fictional. So, free range.
All right. I would want to go hang out with Link then. And I'd probably go swinging some swords around at some chickens.
You'd
Okay.
want
I'm
to take
glad
on
you
the
didn't.
killer chickens?
Yeah, we would. We totally do it.
Yeah.
Because in real life, when you're hanging out with Link, when you cut a chicken, its head comes off.
Yes. Yeah. It's
I'm
not
glad you didn't. I'm glad you didn't say that you wanted to go hang out with that lady from that first story and just take a ribbon off early.
He
I
was
think
dead.
that's
yeah, no, or what is it in The Witcher 3? Hanging out with Geralt when he kills the cows, and if you kill too many cows, the cow god comes, and he's an unkillable.
Oh,
It's an unkillable cow god. It's pretty funny.
that's amazing.
I love it when games do
Nice.
that.
Yeah. That's it, they did. There was this famous thing with Legend of Zelda. I can't remember which one. It was one of the early ones that came out on Super Nintendo. But it was a very similar thing. Because you could pick up chickens and you could throw them.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
eventually if you pick up too many chickens, a big chicken comes and is
Yes.
literally like the most unkillable boss ever. And
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that. It's like little
I love that.
Easter eggs. I like that.
There was, and
Yeah.
just one more.
Hmm.
Metal Gear Solid 2. I think it was Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah, yep.
And if you played as the what was it? No, if I can't remember. Her name is starts with an M or something. And she had two wolves with her.
Yeah,
Um, and
yep.
if you slapped her or punched her or tried to kill her, the wolves would attack you. But the trick was that if you punch her or whatever and then get in the cardboard box, then the
Yeah.
wolves would come and pee on the box.
I
Where
love
do
it. I
game
love it.
designers get those ideas? I don't know. It's
I
just
know. Well, game designers are kind of like nerds like us, so
yeah,
they
I
just
know.
they're like, I want to see that,
Yeah,
Game was that? I
So
don't think I've ever played that game.
yeah. Metal Gear Solid
Metal Gear Solid's great.
it's on
It's
PlayStation
Oh,
1.
I think
I didn't play.
I,
Yeah.
It was
I
I'll
it's
think
check
one
they
of
got
those.
up to number 5. I think.
Oh, I got number Metal Gear Solid 4 or whatever, which is one of the newer ones, and it's one of my favorites. And it's one of those games I love so much I'm scared to play it again. Yeah,
Mm.
because I'm worried if it didn't age well or it was just brilliant. But no, Metal Gear Solid was 97, 98
Yeah,
because I
the
played it
first
in
one
high
that
school.
came out
Yeah,
on PS1.
yeah,
The
yeah,
first one.
and it had 2 discs.
Hmm.
And when you put the second disc in, it had a special code that you had to put in, and no one could ever find where the code was, but it was on the back. Yeah. You know,
But that was
otherwise,
also
I
one where they had one boss level where the way that the only way you could beat the boss is if you took out the controller from port 1 and plugged it into port 2, and then because he was the boss was a
mind reader.
mind reader, so he could
Yeah.
always read your mind. But if you plugged it into port 2, he couldn't read your mind, and that's the only way you could beat the boss.
Oh, yeah.
I miss
couldn't
when
figure.
games did
Oh,
that.
go ahead. No,
Oh no, I just said I miss when games used to do things like that.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we used to, what was Mortal Kombat 3, and my brother never taught me how to do it, but I would always start like kicking his butt. And in Mortal
Hmm.
Kombat 3, if you hit a certain number of, the code, some dude would pop out of the woods and just be like, Toasty. And like it
Yep.
totally distracted me. And then he, like, because I was always katana and I was like cutting his head off and
Yeah.
stuff. So,
Fantastic.
I used to, yeah, video games that like they're great. Don't get me wrong, they're awesome. You know what I like? This is going to derail it a little bit, but the game that I'm currently playing it because I'm a big role playing game. I love role playing. I love JRPGs, but I don't like playing online. I like playing the single player story myself. And
yeah, me
there's this
too.
game that it's a recent game that just came out called Cloud Obscure Expedition 33. It's really good. It's set like it's written by a French team, which is why Clair Obscur means Expedition 33 in French. And it's really great. It's got an awesome cast. So I'm playing it. You play as this main character. I'm like, I know that voice. Where do I know that voice from? I looked it up. It's Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil in the
Wow.
MCU. And then I'm not going to spoil anything, but another character comes into it probably about halfway through the game because I'm literally probably about an hour from finishing it. And I'm like, where do I know that voice from? And I look it up, and it's the main character from the amazing Final Fantasy 16, Ben Starr. Because
Mm.
I'm like, I
Uh,
know that voice, and it's just so like video games are getting to that stage where I'm IMDbing it like I do
Yeah.
watching a movie.
Yeah.
Because when you watch a movie or a TV show, and you're like, where do I know that person from?
Mm.
But I knew the main character, Gustav, I knew that voice.
Mm.
And because Charlie Cox is English, and the game, like, they've all got English accents. And Andy Serkis is in it as well, as
Yeah.
the big villain, of course. But yeah, I was like, I know that voice. And then
Mm.
I'm like, okay, I know that voice because I've recently rewatched all 3 seasons of Daredevil, and that's you.
Yeah.
But it's so cool that, technology has come so far that they're actually getting famous people like Andy
Yeah.
Serkis. I mean, if
Mm.
you don't know who that is, like, I mean, obviously he's most famous for Gollum, but He's been in a ton of other things. But yeah, I knew
Yeah.
his voice as soon as I heard his voice. I'm like, yeah, I know you do. Relax.
Now, speaking of
But
voices,
yeah, speaking of voices, so we're going to set the theme for this next one. Jamie's going to put a picture up.
Okay.
So the scene is you're in a, and you might like this because it's a little bit romantic. But you're in a log cabin. There's a fire burning. You're sitting down on a rug in front of the fire. There's a nice armchair with a copy of your favorite book of all time sitting on that armchair. Someone walks in to read you that book while you're sitting there in front of the fire. It can be anyone, living, dead, famous, not famous, doesn't matter. Who is going to come in and read your favorite book to you?
I don't even know his name right now. We were just talking about Strange New Worlds, but the guy who plays Spock, he has a super deep
oh
voice.
yes,
Oh, yeah, him. I always forget his name and I want to
I'll
call.
I'll Google it while we're
I,
talking. So
Oh, yeah, I'm doing it too. Um, I know it's not
let's
Ethan Peck, but he's the only name that's popping up into my head right now.
let's see who has the faster internet connection. I don't because I'm using my phone as a hotspot.
It is Ethan
Strange New
Peck. I was
York.
right.
Oh, there you
Ethan
go.
Peck.
You're right.
yeah,
Yeah. He's
no,
got a great freaking voice.
he's
Oh, Ethan
brilliant.
Peck. Oh, he really looks like a Spock too. I'm just
Like
because I obviously haven't watched.
honestly, and I know this is maybe controversial, but I reckon he is as good as Leonard Nimoy.
You
Yeah.
shut your
I,
whore mouth.
I don't think I don't think that is I think that is a popular opinion.
Yeah,
I was really surprised that I was going to love, but I love Leonard Nimoy. I love Spock,
yeah,
but I really love what Zachary Quinto did. And I was like,
mm,
there's no way he's gonna, be topped. And I was like,
yeah,
no way, this guy is amazing.
yeah,
So yeah, he's got a
yeah,
great voice.
yeah. No, I could
Okay, the
100%
the
agree.
guy that plays Captain Pike is not the guy who I was thinking of. He did
Mm-mm.
doppelganger for him though.
Were you thinking of Timothy Oliphant?
No, I was actually thinking of I'm gonna have to Google him because I don't. He's got a weird name, like it's a three-part name, um, like a hyphenated
Mm.
um name. But yeah, he was in. I'm gonna look it up. I think it was what was the Bond movie Spectre? Then what was our Skyfall? And then there was another one. Maybe it was Spectre. Sorry, you can edit this out, Jamie. Oh, Christopher Waltz. Christopher
Christopher Waltz.
Waltz.
Oh, all right, okay.
Yeah, if you look at a photo of him, he literally looks exactly, well,
Yeah,
not exactly, but
but
similar
similar.
to
You can understand why you'd miss it.
to yeah. But okay, so you would have him, and what would be the book that he's reading to you?
You think that Christopher Walk looks like the current Christopher Pike?
Yeah, Christopher Waltz.
Oh.
That's but I
No, I have
sometimes do a
pictures
lot.
up. No, I have a picture up. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, my
Uh,
wife says sometimes my lookalikes look nothing alike, but sometimes I get them
no,
semi right.
every brains are weird. I love it.
Well,
What is he reading?
Yeah,
Not
what
my
book is
novels.
Ethan Peck?
Some well, not my novels. I went because we're indies. I went to all of these local bookstores and I'm like, here, take my book,
mm,
please. And I gave them a PR sheet and everything. And this one guy, he's a ex corrections officer. He like retired. So like he used to and he like opens up one page and he starts reading it. And I'm like, don't ever do that again. I never want to hear my books. Um, oh geez, I don't know. Right now, I really, really, really love TJ Klune, and any of his books, probably The House in the Cerulean Sea is amazing. Um, he's uh, he's the one that does all male main characters, and there's a little bit of romance in it. His Shifter series, though, Wolf Song, is also really good. Um,
Okay, awesome. Well, I haven't heard this guy's voice, but I'll take your guys' word for it. So,
yeah,
it's
if you
it's
just listen, yeah,
it's deep and yeah, it does things to you, Ryan. It does things to
it
oh,
does. Like
does it does
it's
it
not
does
James
it
Earl
tingle your
Jones
loins?
deep. It's not James Earl Jones deep, but it's a
No.
whole other
Well,
different kind of deep that I don't think I've ever heard
yeah.
before. It's
Well,
fantastic.
white. He's a white man.
maybe I'll
Yeah.
maybe I won't listen to his voice because then it might cause an open door scene here. But yeah, just me by myself, not anything else. But yeah. Okay, your turn, Jamie.
All right. Okay. What is a must-read indie book?
Oh, geez.
One that you'd like to recommend?
And you
I
can't say yours because we're already going to read yours.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I'm still getting used to the self-promotional stuff. Like, I just figured out how to sell it at book cons. Obviously, I can't do it on podcasts yet, but I just figured it out. So there's an author, her name is Lena Kazak, and she wrote The Moon's Fury and The Moon's Daughter. So The Moon's Daughter is the first one, Moon's Fury is the second one. She's got another one coming out. It is a romantasy, but it's set in the desert, and it's all like Arabian themed, and it's very culturally diverse, and it's the princess is also I don't even, they don't talk about race or anything like that, but it's all culturally like Arabic and Asian, the Southern Asian stuff. I don't want to piss her off or say the wrong thing, but beautiful. I couldn't stop reading it. I was a beta reader for her second book. And I got so fucking pissed off at the main character, the male main character, because it's slow burn and she's closed doors, so you don't see any, and she does it so well.
Okay.
And I'm like, he needs punched in the fucking face. And she's like, I know. Isn't it great? And then my other friend, Teresa Louise Johnson, she wrote The Boneyard Cafe, and her novella just came out. It's Dark Matter, so it's beautiful. She's dark fantasy. There's very little romance in it, and there's nothing in Boneyard Cafe, and there's only a little bit in Dark Matter, but it's done so well. She has this amazing world that she built, and there's like 7 planets and 7 worlds, and it's super cool. It's really layered and beautifully written.
Okay. All right. So what was that author's name again, just so we can link it?
So there's Teresa Louise Johnson.
Yep. That one.
And Lena Kazak, it's Kazak, and she does a faceless account, and she's successful on Instagram as a faceless account and a faceless indie author. So she is amazing. I mean, everybody's amazing, but she does really cool.
Maybe it's our job to get her on and deface her, not deface her, but like show her face.
I've had her on like some of my calls and stuff. I do an indie author's guide to social media, and I do that other Instagram live stuff, and she still doesn't show her face. Like she's very good at protecting herself and maintaining the faceless stuff. But I would highly recommend reaching out and seeing if she would have a conversation, because she's very intelligent and funny and kind, and she's really cool. But
Maybe she's someone super famous.
Well, our last person that came on to reveal his face is one of our most viewed episodes now.
Cool.
And he was just a nobody from Spain, and
I don't think he'd appreciate you saying that.
No, well, he'd say that. Like he would say that himself.
Yeah, okay.
He said that himself when he came on.
I mean, I'm a no-name author. Nobody knows who I am except, the people who have read my book, and maybe they remember my name, but maybe not.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, we aim to change that, so hopefully a lot more people will know who you are.
Thank you.
But I'm always think those people who go faceless. I wonder if it's like someone famous, or they just don't want people to know that they write
books.
Steamy
books.
Yeah, steamy books.
Yeah.
I mean, hers are not. I mean, they're steamy. I guess it's definitely all implied. So there's definitely a tension there. She's really amazing at doing that. But there's no. I don't know how to say it. I'm done. That thought went out of my brain. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
I had a point.
Okay.
Next one, Ryan.
Yes, the next one. Okay. What I'm going to do, Jamie, is I'm going to throw a
Simplify it.
curveball. You
Oh,
can do the no, you do the next one
oh, okay.
because the last one is
Is
my
your
favorite.
favorite one?
So
Okay,
I'm going to
okay.
let you
Well,
take the next one.
okay. So the next one is if you could take any character from any one of your books and throw them to any other person's work. So,
Ooh.
for example, you could take one of your characters and they could hang out with the Ninja Turtles. Like it's free range. Like, but they've got to go from
Absolutely.
your fiction to someone else's fiction. So, who are you taking and where are they going?
That's an amazing question. And we can cross genre, like we can
Yeah,
cross media, right? Like
yeah,
it doesn't have to
yeah.
be books. So my initial thought was to have my female main character Caitlin meet Buffy because I think that'd be super fun.
Ooh,
Mhm.
But
okay.
I have a Fey man. His name is Garrick, and he's super fun. He I actually have a short story and an anthology coming out, and it's called the Imp-tastic Glitter Bomb. So it's just a really short story about him being a designated driver, and imps come and glitter goes everywhere, and it's fantastic. He's a really strong character,
Mm.
and I would love to see what he does with Leslie Nope.
God. Parks and Rec. That'd be great.
Nice.
Ah,
Nice.
yeah.
I like that.
I think that would be really cool.
Oh, yeah. I want to see that.
Me too.
Yeah,
I'll get
I
on the
like
phone with
it.
Michael Schur. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I said I like that. That's something you don't hear every day. So I think that'd be awesome.
Oh, beautiful.
All right. Last question, and this is my favorite question. What are your three desert island books? Now, so you're stranded on a desert island. You can only take three books with you. What are they? And there is a little bit of a rule because we got people like saying, "Oh, I'm going to bring this trilogy and all this kind of stuff." You can only bring two books in one if they are physically under the same cover.
Mm.
So, for example, for whatever reason, you have a book where the trilogy is put into one
One
actual
cup.
book. You can pick that, but you can't say, "Oh, I'm going to take the Lord of the Rings trilogy as one
No, well,
book."
you
It
can
has to
because
be.
the Lord of the Rings trilogy is under one book.
It
Um,
is.
yeah,
Yeah, well, then that's fine. Sorry,
that's
maybe
fine.
bad example, but
Well, you can't
you know
take
what I mean.
the Jack Reacher series.
Yeah.
You know? You know?
So that's a really interesting question because I'm a writer and I can make up any stories that I want to
Mhm.
make in the sand. So that's one thing. So I won't even say mine because
Mm.
they're already in my head. But again, like I said, I feel like I'm a little boring because I repeat my answers. But The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune, um, Babel by Adrian Young, and The Dance of the Burning Sea by E.J. Mello.
Awesome. I think that's the quickest answer we've
That
had to
really
that question.
is.
Well done.
Thank you. I
I
have
like.
yeah. Over the last few years, I really did like hunker down and do a lot of reading and a lot of studying and really to just get the format of storytelling right when I was doing the ghostwriting, but it also helped me out. It was like double. And Adrienne Young is a beautiful author, and some of her stuff, most of her stuff is YA, but it's not all YA. And then TJ Klune is just I think everybody needs somebody like him in their lives. He's just his stories are so good. Like they just everything has my heart. Even when I don't like the character, there was he wrote The House in the Cerulean Sea, and then the second a different character came out, the Something Under the Whispering Door. I hated that main character so much. And every time I talked to somebody, they were like, I hate him so much. But the way that he does it, he's like sneaks in on you, and then you
Yeah.
like him at the end, and you're like, oh, that's amazing. So he's a brilliant writer, and EJ Mello is just someone I happened to accidentally find on Kindle, and that's part of a 3 series, but the second one is really amazing. So she's got an incredible world there is romance in hers too, but the world that she has, it's the yeah, I could go on about it forever, but it's brilliant.
Excellent.
Well, I think they're very, very, very good answers to to all those questions. So congratulations on passing the bonus questions.
Thank you.
That's it.
I was trying hard.
Well, there's only one thing left for us to do, and that's to give you the floor to plug yourself, tell our listeners and our viewers where they can follow you, support you, and buy your books, and anything you want to do and say. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, again, thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun talking to you guys. I basically live at Instagram. I'm there. I try to interact with everybody as much as I can. I do teach indie authors. I am a consultant, so you can go to my website, find my books there, find out a little bit about me. It's karamzone.com, super complicated. And then everybody could see where my signings are going to be and my other conventions and stuff. I am at Amazon. My 2 books are on Kindle Unlimited, and my book 2 isn't, because I wanted to keep it wide, which is again a whole other conversation, as you probably know, Jamie. It's just like crazy. And yeah, I do an Instagram live once a month. This month we're talking about traditional publishing with Christine, my friend who was newly agented. Well, she's not newly agented anymore. I'm just used to saying it. And then the contemporary romance author. So they're going to kind of debunk some stuff about traditional publishing, and I'll be moderating it. And that's about it. I have a newsletter. I have like some cool stuff for my ARC and street team. If anybody wants to come, again, I'm on Instagram. It's at karamzone_rights. I'm still not used to that yet, so I feel like I said too much.
That's fine. No, well, thanks for coming along. It has been great. It's been another 2-hour episode, which is becoming quite, popular now.
Let's talk about some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, we can go through. Well, what do you want to know? Because I have a lot.
No.
No. Cool. Guys, all of Kara's links will be down in the show notes, so please check that out. Check out our sponsors, Rebecca Cassells, Martin Kearns. Buy their stuff. Buy my stuff too. Most of my
Buy my shirt.
Buy Ryan's shirt. I was going to get to that, but yes, buy. We got merch if you want to buy merch to support the show. And Train of Thought has gone. It's back. If you want to reach out, thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com. And until next time, support those indies, and see you on the next episode.
See you next time.